admit that sometimes I might say things that people disagree with, of course, just like anybody else. However, it would be nice if we could all agree that stabbing people is not polite. In fact, it is very rude to poke holes in people until they stop living. I think that is really not a nice thing to do. But we sure have gotten a lot of that so far in the month of June. Holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah, so it is now the end of June. And hopefully I can get this video done pretty soon, I suppose. But yeah, gosh, there's this ridiculous contrived controversy over some algae in a reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. These dumb idiots want to wreck the pool after it got fixed just to try to make the president look bad, but all they do is just make themselves look bad. It's like, why would you even do that? I mean, is this your hill to die on? It's just bizarre. It's really bizarre. And there's this also a ridiculous controversy over Stellar Blade. It's called Blood Rain, which is weird because I thought there was already a game called Blood Rain. And there was a movie based on Blood Rain. Isn't it like a vampire game or something? Obviously, I never played that game before. But the first Stellar Blade, what was it, just last night, I downloaded the demo on Steam, and unfortunately, I was not able to reduce the resolution for some reason. And everything else was like set to low, and I even tried 30 frames per second, and it still, my computer just choked. Not this computer, but I have a little Dell Optiplex. I showed it in, I think, the January through March update video, and I think I might show it again in this video later on. But that machine is just not powerful enough to handle the Stellar Blade game. So, as you know, I'm a retro gamer, mostly. There are some modern games that I do enjoy, but most of the games that I buy, they are the retro style games. And actually, I have some stuff to show later on. I think I might even start with doing some Steam content before getting into the models and such. But speaking of which, my new project, because I really am a spaz. I just start stuff, right? I have actually got started with the Buck Roger Starfighter. I have not yet received the improved cockpit tub, right? That is going to be coming to me hopefully sometime rather soon. 3D printed by the same guy who did the Klingon parts for me. So the first one was Minuteman Model Works, who he did the Klingon Katinga parts that I sent him, but they didn't come out right. He did send some really cool other stuff though, like this Rei figure from Evangelion that I've been working on, and also this Nadia here that I've mostly finished painting. But yeah, he sent me that neat stuff. But yeah, just the Klingon parts, a bunch of them were unusable. But there's a guy in Japan who printed those for me, and I must have shown those, I don't know, it's been several update videos ago. Anyhow, like, this is the cockpit here for the Buck Roger Starfighter, and quite many years ago, I was still living in Shizuoka Prefecture at the time. I did a video for my Buck Roger Starfighter, and I showed this. I bought this on eBay. I had to totally just cut off most of his ass just to get him to fit in this chair, because the way it was is like the cockpit wouldn't even fit over that. But I mean, this is like this looks like something you'd have in your backyard, right? And he just looks like he's just gonna relax in his chair. What? There's no cockpit. There's no like control yoke. There's no instrumentation. Like, what are you supposed to do that? It's just really stupid. This old monogram Buck Rogers kit is otherwise pretty fantastic. The problem is just the interior is just really bad. And this is just, it's crap. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I mean, if you watch the show, you know there's like a these things are two-seaters, right? So anyhow, yeah, I should have that pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to that, but you're not going to see that in this video. I do have some really freaking awesome crap to show later on, though. Got some upgrade parts for the Miranda class, the USS Reliant kit from Star Trek, Wrath of Khan. I got another Priss from Bubblegum Crisis. I got a resin garage kit of her. That's really cool. So anyhow, I'm getting kind of sidetracked though. So Stellar Blade. Okay, so I gave it a shot. Could not play it, unfortunately. I do kind of like those those hack and slash games. I really got it. I love those Tenchu, those ninja assassin games. Those are really fun. Another game called Red Ninja, and I have a garage kit of that actually. So yeah, there are. I'm not a complete 2D diehard. You know, there are some modern games that I do like, and I was actually kind of interested in Stellar Blade. When that came out, there was a bunch of stupid controversy over that game. Okay, so they claim jiggle physics. I don't even see it. I mean, I've never successfully played the game myself, but there's a lot of games, and I see commercials for these things on TV in Japan. So anybody who gets offended by this kind of stuff, they don't even have a clue of what else is out there. And even stuff that's like, it's not even like, you know, erotic or whatever. These smartphone games and these dumb girls, I call them moon boobs. They just kind of like every time they move, they just kind of like just when they're breathing, right? And then like their booby tits are like all like moving up and down. It looks so stupid. That is dumb juggle physics. It's stupid. The first Dead or Alive game, right? It was like, it's like punching a waterbed. It just looks so stupid. So when they are complaining about juggle physics in games, that it's like it's realistic, you know, why are they complaining about stuff like that? It's stupid. I think that that little bit of added realism kind of, you know, it's a nice graphical touch. So why are they complaining about that? I don't know, but they were complaining about Eve looking like a kid or something. She doesn't even look like a kid. I mean, she looks like maybe in her late 20s or something, I guess. I've watched enough gameplay of it. The funny thing is that like they had complained. It's always these stupid. I guess they must be leftists or something, because like the Western gamers, the game companies, are always making like these really either plain Jane or just like downright unappealing female characters, and they think that they're scoring points with people that way. It's ridiculous. But they were complaining about her body was unrealistically proportioned, right? Stellar Blade. She's got a stellar ass, that's for sure. But they were complaining about it, but like it was actually like the scans were based off an actual Korean woman, right? So it just stupid. But here we go again. The sequel, again, Blood Rain. I don't know why they call it that, but Although I think the original one was Rayne or something. This, I don't know. Whatever. I'm such a boomer when it comes to this stuff. I guess I'm just not in the mood to keep track of everything. But I've seen quite a lot of this dumb, uh, pitching a fit over this crap, and it looks like it's not even really grassroots at all. Um, from what I've gathered, that these loud voices are like an extreme minority. But they're trying to block this game from being released. It's ridiculous. The protagonist in this game is, they said that she's supposed to be younger looking, and she does look younger than Eve, but she looks like a college age student, right? She doesn't look like she's under 18, which is of course the magic number that you just can't go underneath or whatever. Um, I don't get it. I don't really understand it, because it's like, it's nothing like, there's nothing like erotic about these games, really. It's not like there's any sort of sexual situations as far as I know. What the hell are they going on about, right? But this new character, she has short hair. She looks like she's probably like a college student, right? And the reason I bring this up is like this kind of hits home to me a little bit, because the people who really pitch a fit about this stuff, they don't have any concept of the way Asian women are. I live in Japan, and I think a lot of Japanese women, they like hearing Western men guess what their age is, because they, you know, they they're flattered. Asian women typically look younger than Western women, and I have not lived in America for what, 14 years now. I can't believe it's just the times have gone by so quickly, I guess. But I'm really detached from American culture. But these people are showing their I don't want to use, I think the word racism is really an overused term. I think I get kind of tired of hearing racism, because it just gets kind of boring. But people who are pissed off about this game, they're claiming that the girl looks like she's 15 or something. I work with 15-year-old girls, right? That is my job, right? I teach English and stuff. 15-year-old Japanese girls don't carry themselves like that, right? She doesn't look like she's 15. She looks like she's like 23 or whatever, which is, from what I understand, is what they say that the point of the game is, that's the goal, is to make her look like that age. I will say though that the most narrow-minded, bigoted conceptions or misconceptions about Japanese women, as speaking as someone who married a Japanese girl and lived in America for a while, is the crap came from like feminists, like the toxic feminists. I had been told that I married a Japanese girl because I need to be like, I need to have someone subservient to me. I've heard that I had a Japanese girl because I couldn't get a real girl, I guess. Along those lines, I can't remember what the exact word was, but it's like, oh well, you couldn't hack it, so that's why you got a Japanese girl instead, or something. Really, you don't say. So I guess Japanese women are not real women, right? And people said that Okay, so I think I may have mentioned this before, and I know I've mentioned this in private conversations with plenty of people before, but okay, so I was married, and I've recently uploaded photos of my wedding on my homepage, stevethefish.net. Duh, that's what my homepage is. Just recently, this is 2026, so it marked the 25th anniversary of my wedding anniversary, right? So I scanned a bunch of photos of my wedding and posted that on my website. So I was 25 years old. My wife was 24 years old. Okay, so our first year of marriage. Alright, this is us here, okay? Now, even by Japanese standards, even some Japanese people thought that she was maybe in junior high. She's practically the same age as myself. But people in America, when we bought a house, there was this woman who gave me the cold shoulder as soon as I moved in. And there was the woman across the street from us who was really nice and gracious to me. The woman next door to me, she was really great. She was really helpful. But there was another woman across the street and like one house down that I didn't know about this, but until much later. But she just assumed that I was some creep who married a child bride in Asia and took her back to America with me. She didn't even bother asking, how I met my wife or how old we are or anything like that. She just assumed this and was apparently gossiping about me to the neighborhood and such. So yeah, she was kind of like one of those toxic feminist types, I guess. And yeah, it was I wouldn't say hurtful because I don't really give a crap about what she thought about me, but especially because I never cared for her anyways. I tried to be nice, and she just blew me off as soon as as soon as I met her. Right? We only lived in that house for I don't know about 3 or 4 years, maybe. But yeah, a lot of people have like really narrow-minded preconceptions about Asian women. And that's what it's just ridiculous to hear what these idiots are saying about this game, which I may never even play in my life. I don't know. The way computer parts are so expensive nowadays, like I would like to get a better graphics card on this computer, but they're no longer like $70. Now they're like frickin', I don't know, $400 or something. I haven't even looked, but I bought this computer. When I put this computer together, I didn't have hundreds of dollars to spend on this, right? Or tens of thousands of yen. So what I did was I just bought like a 8 or 9 year old graphics card and just dealt with that instead. So as a result, stuff like Alien Isolation will not run on this, but I do believe it will work on the Optiplex that I have. And again, I'll show you this stuff later, I guess, in this video. But anyhow, yeah, my friend gave me this hand-me-down Optiplex, and it is much more powerful than this computer for sure. So that's basically what I do my gaming on. So anyhow, yeah, the racism that I had experienced was not from like church-going Republican types in Arizona. It was like the shitty, perpetually unhappy, grumpy, liberal Democrat types. Especially like the feminist types, right? I had a friend who was a raging Democrat and said something like, "Oh, we're going to go to the chink market." And I'm like, "What? He's like, yeah, it was the Ranch 99 Market, which I don't know what it's called anymore. Actually, I don't think it exists anymore. But yeah, it's just I heard that. I'm like, dude, what the hell, man? That's just kind of stupid. So yeah, people suck. People really suck. And people who stab other people suck even more. I think that is just really bad news. It's really sad what's going on. So I watched the movie Citizen Vigilante, and oh gosh, everybody was going on about what a great movie it was. It, that guy, Bull or Uwe Boll, is completely retarded. He's always made like the worst movies, or he's always tries to make like every movie is like worse than the other ones, right? This movie was kind of unsettling to watch. I did not really enjoy it. I thought it was just like, come on already. What do it's basically like a Batman type of fantasy movie, but it's like some rich guy American who somehow manages to smuggle his cache of guns to some European country, and the director is so stupid. I mean, people who like the movie, I think what they do is they like the message because people are frustrated with how terrible and toxic the rampant illegal immigration especially, has become, particularly in Europe. And not only that, but the disgusting politicians that are enabling it. And it's really out of hand. So people see the movie and they want this kind of fantasy to become true. But the guy, he made a movie that, like, the beginning credits, it was all like cruelty to animals, like yanking the skin off of dogs and stuff, and just disgusting barbarism. And he got the videos from like PETA or something or other, the animal rights activist groups, and it's just disgusting. I mean, people should maybe kind of know about this kind of stuff, but to put that in a movie, it was just, the guy is just disgusting. So, like, this movie, you just see, like, scenes of him. He's just, like, all cocking guns and stuff and pointing them at the wall or whatever. He has, like, this magical power to hijack people's TVs and communicate to them somehow. They didn't really explain how he could do this, but it was, again, this guy is stupid. The Bowl guy is just such an idiot. There was like this whole, I don't know, it seemed like it drug out forever. I was like skipping. He goes to like this brothel. Like, this guy is supposed to be like a champion for like morals and stuff. The protagonist, right? He goes to this brothel to have sex with a prostitute, and I'm like, I'm skipping. I fast forwarded through this video. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to see this. It's just boobs and stuff. And then like there's like a mildew stain on the top of the ceiling, and he freaks out about it because it turns out that he owns the place. What did this serve to the plot, right? It just had nothing to do with the actual video or the actual movie. Okay, now get this. I have to interject this later on. I'm editing the video. One thing I forgot to mention is, the protagonist of this movie is like supposedly like a defender of the innocent and such. There's a scene in which he injects a judge in the neck with heroin, and like, where did he get that? Right? If he's such an upstanding guy, why does he have heroin? Or he's going to prostitute brothels and stuff? It doesn't make sense, right? So anyhow, he takes this judge for a drive, and the judge is like not even like barely conscious at all, just because he's got like this heroin overdose going, and to prove some sort of cockamamie point, the vigilante guy, he runs another car off the road. He plays chicken with this car, and he runs the car off the road, and it flips over, and of course it explodes, because cars just explode all the time. That's like science or something. And so and then he mentions, oh yeah, the occupants in that car most likely died. Okay, if you are like the champion of protecting people, you just killed people. B, what's your point again? I was just didn't even make sense. C, even if it was a coherent point, the judge is totally stoned out of his mind with heroin. He probably didn't even recognize what even happened. D, it doesn't even matter because he ends up killing the judge anyways. It's just so stupid. The movie was just such a train wreck. It was just pathetic. At the beginning, you see the thing is about the movie though is that it's based off of actual events. Some mother and her son are going home after the grocery store, and some random African guy just stabs her in the neck and just gushing blood everywhere and kills the woman in front of her own son. That happens, and the UK government, the French government, the German government, they don't want people to get upset about this because they keep prattling on about, oh, diversity is our strength. No, it's not. So speaking as an immigrant myself, I did not come to this country to deliver diversity, right? Especially not the unchecked diversity. I'm pretty sure I've ranted on one of these videos before about like the trash situation and people who can't follow the simple trash rules, and how I don't want that to, people to think it's me doing it, because that stuff really pisses me off. If this place I live in, if the apartment suddenly had like an influx of Americans or whatever, I wouldn't be happy about that at all. So especially, I tend to prefer not to spend time with groups of foreigners. Basically they just, after almost, I wouldn't say inevitably, but quite often people just start complaining about Japan and stuff. It's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want that negativity. Co-workers and stuff who are definitely rather liberal leaning, they are the ones who complain about Japan a lot, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, diversity is not anybody's strength. Okay, it's just anyhow, check out my website. I've written like long ass essays about that kind of stuff. And something else to interject, when you're talking about diversity being a strength, if women are no longer safe to walk outside at night without these crazy migrants attacking them or sexually harassing them and such, that's not strength at all. And it's just like, you cannot ignore that this is going on. It's totally ridiculous. I saw a video of I think it was Black Pigeon Speaks. He's an American guy who lives in I think the Tokyo area, and he did this thing about how the Japanese embassy in Paris is they provide mental counseling to Japanese citizens who visit France, because when they come to France they are so disillusioned with this idea, because this mental idea of France is like, ooh, the Eiffel Tower, and au café, ha ha, oui, and that's not at all in reality anymore because it looks like freaking, you know, like Morocco or something, and it's overrun with these homeless people and just mattresses on the street, and it's just piles of trash everywhere. Just become such a disgusting city that these Japanese tourists are so extremely disillusioned that they have like mental anguish and such. It's crazy. So yeah, there's your diversity. Or like something else. I think it was like a beach in Italy with some crazy African guy masturbating on the beach in front of children and such. And like, oh mommy, look what that man's doing over there. Oh my gosh. And like nobody did anything to stop the guy, because if they did, I'm sure the police would arrest them for being racist or something. It's ridiculous, totally stupid. So, yeah, this movie did certainly have some points. It really fed on that energy of frustration that people have with how disgusting that Europe especially has become. Yeah, this movie, it has a lot of over the top violence and stuff, but like again, it wasted so much time on that stupid prostitution scene, and I just like it was stupid. It went nowhere. The whole thing on the bus was kind of interesting. So it's not like an anti-immigrant movie, as people are claiming it is. It is an anti criminal movie, basically, right? It is not all of the bad guys in this movie are immigrants. There's at least one, white girl that was part of the troublemakers and stuff on the bus, for example. But yeah, if you see the movie, because it is on, I think Elon Musk, he put it on Twitter. You can catch it. I think the directors made it available for free even. So, for me personally, I saw it on Odysee. I wanted to rent it on Amazon Prime. It wasn't available in Japanese. It was not available on. Well, it was available on the Amazon USA Prime, but they wanted me to have an American credit card, so I just, yeah, whatever. So skip ahead to like the 1 hour and 11-minute mark, or they've actually had people have uploaded the really potent scene in the movie on YouTube. Basically, yeah, he does get revenge for this girl who was raped. But did he get revenge against there was another woman who was raped as well? I'm not sure. There's so many plot cul-de-sacs in this movie. It's just dumb. And this whole thing about like, how media can affect people's perception on things. There's no such thing as silencers, right? I think it was probably from a James Bond movie or something. But you are not going to be able to screw something onto the barrel of a gun and go pew pew, and then nobody can hear it. If I had a suppressor, not a silencer, but a suppressor in my hand, when I'm firing a gun, my neighbor can definitely hear that. If you sneeze loudly, you can hear through the window and stuff. A suppressor it makes a gun less loud, but you can still hear the gunshot. So this whole silencer thing, it's just James Bond science fiction stuff. I don't think there's anything like that in reality. But you get a lot of this in this movie. It's like, where's this guy get his guns from? And then, B, it's fake, right? So it's not like this is going to be inspiring people to do something like this, because, although interestingly enough, though, after that concert was shot up by those Muslims in France, they found stockpiles of lots of guns in mosques. Gee, where did they get that from? Your everyday citizen is not going to have access to that kind of stuff. So anyhow, Juve Bowl is a spaz. I cannot recommend the movie. It was just a real trash movie. At the same time, though, there is quite a few, points made. These judges are disgusting people who let these criminals, these rapists and such, they let them off for free. They let them go. That's the stuff featured in the movie is based on real life. So the movie is the embodiment of people's frustration with everything. And so anyhow, I cannot recommend the movie, but it does say, like, I don't think, because he says, like, are these the values that you teach your kids? Like, oh, I teach my family the Quran and stuff, and he's like, and then there's like, oh, but these girls are they expose their legs and they they deserve to be raped and stuff, and he's like, you don't come here. If that's your attitude, you shouldn't be here, because if you're gonna come here and complain about everything, you don't belong here, and you bring your archaic value system here, and it's not welcome here. And I'm like, yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I don't agree with, like, just killing people, because he ends up killing not only the rapist and his friends, but like the rapist's entire family and stuff. I just did not feel good. The whole movie just really bothered me. Yeah. It's very rare that there's any movie that I'm actually interested in watching, though. Like, the last movie that I really wanted to see was Alien Romulus, and I thought that was really fun. Later this year is going to be a Street Fighter movie, and at least it looks better than the one that came out in 1995 or so with Raul Julia. But yeah, they have to have the Ken, the white guy is an alcoholic or whatever, and he's a wash up or whatever. They have to have a character arc, I guess, but they always have to have the white guy as, like, the divorced dad or whatever. It's just dumb. The guy who screwed up his life. It's kind of funny. But that's Hollywood for you. And then they had Chun-Li making this "oh, bitch, please" line in the trailer. It's like, I don't want to see that. That's stupid. Despite that, I think I would like to go see that movie, though. I don't know, we'll see. Toy Story, the new Toy Story movie looks interesting. It seems to be, kind of a critique, I guess, on screen addiction, from what I understand. I might be wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But the little girl stops playing with the toys because she'd rather have her tablet computer and stuff. And so the Woody and everybody gets disappointed. I just realized they're not going to have Buzz Lightyear in the movie because they got rid of Tim Allen, because the people who claim that diversity is a strength, they got rid of Tim Allen, didn't they? I just realized that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's funny how the people who just always claim that, diversity, they're the ones who, like, really hate diversity, actually. These are the same people who, like, say that they hate racism and all that, but yet they say stuff like, oh, voter ID is racist because black people are too stupid to know how to do anything, let alone get ID. It's like, wait, what? Or that, what's her name, the governor of New York, Hochul or Heckle or whatever her name is, black kids growing up in the Bronx are too stupid to know what a computer looks like or something like that. It's like, what?
I don't know much about computers other than the one we got in my house. My mom put a couple games on there. And
You dumb assholes. Or that Newsom saying, oh, I'm just like you. I got poor SAT scores just like you stupid black people did or something. It's like, really? You guys are like the same people who like always accuse the president of being racist, but yet all you do is say racist crap like that. And of course Biden and all the crap that he's always said about, yeah, it's ridiculous. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about movies. Diversity is dumb. Don't let people, you get a car full of 4 people. Hey, yeah, we're hungry. Okay, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to go to a steakhouse. Oh, I want to go to like a sushi restaurant. Oh, I want to get, Mexican food. Oh, I want to do Italian food. Oh, there's your diversity right there. What are you going to do? Right? If everybody agrees, hey, dude, let's get sushi. Okay, that's not diversity, but that's cohesion. That doesn't matter, what your skin color is or anything like that. But if you're all on the same page, that is strength. It's not diversity. It's social cohesion. Okay, so if people who immigrate to a country and they do their best to assimilate, like I think I'm doing a fairly good job of doing myself, that is social cohesion. And if people don't complain about you, then you must not be doing anything bad. So, all right, you know what? I think I'm gonna mix it up a little bit for this video. I'm gonna start with some video game crap first. So I'm gonna show you stuff about Steam. So this is the Dell Optiplex. I showed this in the January through March update video. You can sit upright like this, and it has rubber feet here. You can sit it down like this as well. Doesn't affect the fan and such, because that's what goes here. So yeah, this is the little dongle for the wireless keyboard. This is a dongle for Wi-Fi. However, I think I figured out what was going on with the Wi-Fi, the internal Wi-Fi and such. My friend didn't really put that together quite properly. I went ahead and took this open and addressed that situation as well. So maybe I don't need that Wi-Fi thingy, this thing here anymore. Let me open this up. Okay, I was trying to open it the opposite way. It opens up like this. This slides off. Okay. So the hard drive is really small, actually. Alright, so this is, I guess this is the video card. The hard drive is underneath here somewhere. It's just like a card, really. It's pretty small. Well, I went ahead and I put a hard drive on here. I don't know if I can easily take this apart or not, but this is the an SSD hard drive, and it was pretty easy to put in. Maybe I have to watch the video on how to take this apart, but anyhow, this is like a 250 gigabyte hard drive on here. And I have a 1 terabyte SSD that I could have easily put on here. I did not do that, but to be honest though, for what I'm doing and the type of gaming that I do, it's not that big of a deal, really. I am not coming close to using this up. Steam, actually, there's a way of moving your stuff to a different hard drive. So that makes it a lot easier. I honestly cannot remember how I put this together. And it's supposed to slide out. It's like, you have these instructions here. But honestly, I don't know. I think, yeah, okay, this is it. All right, this is it here. It just slides right in, right? So you got the SATA ports here, okay. And yeah, there's not much you can do with this, but like there's supposed to be an antenna here. That doesn't work. No, I mean, that doesn't work. I don't mean to say that. What I mean to say is, it's not there. So, and there's supposed to be a wire that goes there. There's a white wire. So the white wire goes to the external. The black wire goes into the internal. And I think that's what this is for the wireless network. So, yeah, this is the spare hard drive that I had, and actually my friend gave this to me like many years ago, actually. And yeah, so you can find my Steam profile if you want to connect there. You know, hopefully if I know you, that'd be great. I share it with my daughter, so there's some stuff like Slime Rancher and a lot of those 3D games like pools and such. Those are hers. And they actually run much better on this than they do on my desktop computer. So anyhow, with the month of June, there has been the summer sale kickoff with Steam, and I have bought several games that are like super cheap, and I have been particularly, over the past month or so, I bought several games that are just like, you know, like Neo Geo games that were on the Saturn. A bunch of other games, though, have also been, Saturn games have been re-released on Steam. So let me show you that stuff now. So, this is Time Gal. If you've ever played the Dragon's Lair or Space Ace back in the 80s, then this game follows that type of format. It's a Laserdisc game, and you see this crazy asshole. He shoots up those robot guards. He steals this time machine. Yeah, so this is Time Gal. She's like a time cop or something. And so the guy takes off in time, and so she has to go search for this guy through time. And so she goes looking for him in different points in history and such. And so this will show you the gameplay here. So she's going through the time tunnel. BC 30,000. You got these cavemen. So I don't remember arrows like this in Dragon's Lair. I really suck at Dragon's Lair. I could not do it. Timing was just way too hard. I find this to be much easier. I had this game on the Mega CD, and then later I got the Sega Saturn version. And so, like, yeah, if you don't push the right button, then there's a little cute little death scene. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I had this on the Sega Saturn, and this is a HD remaster on Steam, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you push the button, then you use your laser blaster. You can stop time, and it'll give you decisions, right? And so I had done this it's like all in Japanese text before, and I can kind of more or less read the Japanese text. And but this is in English though, right? So there is an English dub, I believe, with this game. this game was released on the Sega CD in North America. And I remember in high school, in the early 90s, some kids were talking about Time Gal, and they had it for the Sega CD. So anyhow, yeah, you just go through the game, and you hit the button at the right time. And so, some of the stuff she says in this is pretty funny. So if you don't understand Japanese, you can switch over to the English language, I believe. I'm pretty sure the English dub is available for this. I listened to it once. I didn't really care for it so much. It's pretty lousy voice acting, and that's pretty much par for the 90s, I think, when it comes to anime stuff or video games in general. So yeah, when in doubt, just start shooting people with your gun. So here's another Taito game. This is Elevator Action Returns. Alright, this is more Sega Saturn love. I played this game like crazy on my Sega Saturn. It is now worth a lot of money, and you can actually buy this on Steam. I bought this again on that really fancy summer sale. So if you, and actually, unlike the Saturn, this actually gives you the original Saturn game. Or the original arcade game, which is pretty cool. So yeah, you could actually kick them, and you get more points than just shooting them. You go on the blue doors and you get items, like you can, get life or whatever, or you can get different bombs or bonus points and stuff. Watch this. Boom. So, I like playing the girl. Look at this guy, he just walked right into the fire because he's a dumb asshole. The girl is best because her bombs, like, they don't just explode, but they cause a fire, and they can do repeat damage. So, I like playing the girl the best. So you can get the L, which is like a rocket launcher. I don't know what the L stands for, but where the M is machine gun. So it gives you a full auto fire. Oh, shot me. So yeah, this game is super fun. I really like this. I've never actually beat it. But yeah, the red doors those are your objective doors. You have to go in there, or otherwise it'll tell you, hey, go in the red door to proceed. So, yet another Taito game. I've just been in a Taito mood lately, and it's not deliberate. I just happened to notice that I've been playing a lot of Taito games. And so, yeah, this is another one of the Saturn tribute games, right? So the Elevator Action Returns is a Saturn tribute game. The Time Gal was not a Saturn tribute, but anyhow, these are actually the Saturn tribute games are actually put out by City Connection, and they do some pretty cool stuff with retro games. So this is Metal Black, and this is a Saturn game that I never actually bought. I never got around to buying this game. This obviously it's a horizontal shmup, and my friend let me borrow this game when I made the 100 import-only Sega Saturn games in 10 minutes. This is pretty wild. It was like a giant hermit crab using this aircraft carrier. Obviously, it's like a post-apocalyptic Earth. Like the cities are buried in sand and such. But your fighter is you're gonna be blowing up all these aliens and stuff. So there's like these weird molecule-looking things that you pick up along the way, and it increases your firepower, and you can release like this deadly attack like this. And the more of these little balls, these molecules that you accumulate, the stronger that is. But like these little hoppy frogs here get in the way. These are pretty crazy. You can actually stand in their way, but oops, I died. So yeah, it's not like the catchiest. I mean, like of course Taito, they're mostly known for Darius, and you can actually get the Darius collections on Steam as well. But yeah, Metal Black is pretty decent. So, yeah, even more Taito love with the Saturn Tribute Collection. This is a puzzle game called Cleopatra Fortune. And actually, if you check out my Odysee channel, I have uploaded a full play, well not a full play of the entire game, but this game, Cleopatra Fortune, as well as Time Gal. So I do a lot more gaming videos on my Odysee channel. So anyhow, if you start with level 1, it's a lot easier. So it's not like your typical Tetris game. Just skip that here. So I'll just show you. You have these gems, and if you enclose the gems with blocks, then you complete. You clear out the gems. And it doesn't have to be in complete rows, but if you do it as a row, like for example this here, it gets rid of the gems plus the blocks as a chain. You see, I got an accomplishment there. So anyhow, yeah, if you check out my Odysee channel, you can see my gaming videos on Odysee. But it's pretty fun. It's not just Tetris, but it's got a unique twist to it. So it starts out super easy, as you can see here. You're getting perfect points here, right? But it eventually gets more and more difficult, introducing different shapes. So eventually it'll pull up like a sarcophagus, alright? Isn't that what they're called? Like the pharaoh's mummies. You can see that way it didn't clear out the blocks, but you gotta see that. That's how it works. So yeah, from here on it gets a little bit trickier because it's not going to be the same pieces every time. Alright, so next I'll show you Cotton Boomerang. This is another one of those Saturn tribute games. This is by Success this time. It's not a Taito game. But this is a cute 'em up, right? A shmup with cute characters. And the audio is a little bit glitchy with this one. I don't know why. I have not had any problems with other games in this series. But anyhow, this is Cotton Boomerang. Now, I have Cotton 2 on the Saturn. I never got around to getting Cotton Boomerang. So it's more or less the same game. I think the backgrounds maybe have improved visuals. This Cotton game, the Cotton 2 introduced like Street Fighter moves where you can actually do like a fire moves and stuff in order to change your shooting patterns. You can also grab enemies and throw them into other enemies. That's pretty cool. So this game, you actually have to choose up to 3 characters. And it's pretty cool. So I don't know what's going on with the audio glitches. I'll have to see if there's anything I can do for Linux, right? Because I'm doing all of these games on Bazite Linux, which is, is the closest you can get to SteamOS, although I guess now they have released SteamOS and you can install that on your own individual computers, I guess. I think I saw a video on that. There's lots of videos like that on Odysee. There's plenty of Linux content on Odysee. So anyhow, yeah, I never get around to buying this game on the Saturn. I have a poster of Cotton Boomerang on my wall in my hobby room. But so yeah, now I have it on Steam, and it's pretty cool. So, this is another Sega Saturn game, and this is not in the Saturn Tribute series, but this is Radiant Silvergun. Oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful in high def. So, I have this game for the Sega Saturn, and while it's not the priciest, it is certainly one of the most popular. My wife bought this for me when she was still my pen pal for like 3,000 yen. Cool thing about this though is that it has English subtitles, so you can actually see what they're saying. So when I first played this game, I did not know what they were saying at all, and as I continued to study Japanese, more and more of this made sense. But like, starting right here, I wasn't really, I mean, I know he's talking about like the date stuff, but yeah. Some of this stuff, like he's talking about the shokuryo, like the food running out and stuff like that. Eventually I can kind of understand that, but I think I saw some translations online. Isn't this the same voice actor as like Porco Rosso from the Crimson Peak? It sure sounds like it. I don't know. I'll have to look into that, I guess. But anyhow, this game made very good use of the 6-button Saturn controller. And when you're playing it with like a PlayStation style controller, it's just not the same. However, my Eartheon 6-button, Saturn style controller works perfectly with this game, and I'm so happy because the buttons are exactly where they should be, and I'm very happy with that. The Saturn Tribute games do not work with the Eartheon. It's the 8-bit do controller, the retro controller, unfortunately. It's very, very sad about that. Unless there's a way of forcing emulation, I guess, through using Steam input. I haven't looked into that yet. Anyhow, this game is legendary. It is super awesome, and I'm very proud to own this game, but I don't have any method of actually playing my Sega Saturn anymore. But regardless of that, though, this is in high definition, and it really looks nice. It really does look nice. Awesome. Beautiful soundtrack as well, too. Alright, Devil Blade. Now this is a modern shmup. And it's called Devil Blade Reboot. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, it's definitely really awesome. Very awesome pixel graphics. This game is really cool. There's no power-ups to increase your firepower. You can switch at will between a spread shot and a focused shot. But you can get like bombs and like a shield. So the shield is good until you get hit once. Then you are unprotected, and then if you get hit, then you're dead, right? You lose a life, but it's pretty generous with the bombs. The graphics on this it's just so beautiful. It's all pixel graphics, and this really is a beautiful shmup. And yeah, I don't know the history of this. I don't know when the original Devil Blade ever came out, but this is Devil Blade Reboot. These mid-bosses and the level bosses speak to you as well. It's kind of funny. It's always the same voice as far as I can tell. Very cool action. So this is a modern shmup called Rolling Gunner. I played this in May, I believe, at a game center in Takasaki, and I kind of forgot about this game. I enjoyed playing it, but I kind of forgot what it was called. I forgot to take pictures of the screen, and then this was listed as one of the shmups that were on sale during the summer sale. And it was on Reddit. It was the shmups subreddit. It was somebody's listing a whole bunch of shmups that were on sale. So yeah, this has modern graphics, and it works perfectly on Steam OS compatible, right? The Linux. So it's called Rolling Gunner, obviously, because you have like these options that roll around and aim in the opposite direction of where you are pointing. And if you push the button, then you'll focus the shots in that direction, and then release it, and then it'll, rotate around. But this has just really awesome bullet patterns. It's a really, really cool game. So you have to just carefully navigate the huge mess of bullets. It's pretty great stuff. Alright, so this is Ribi. Actually, this is not a new game, but it's new to me, basically, because I bought this like a year or so ago, but I never got around to playing it. This is a Metroidvania game. Again, it's called Ribi, and it's like this, it kind of reminds me of Toho a little bit, in the way that it's just cute girls, and apparently it's like this world where only cute girls exist. You play this, she is a bunny rabbit that was turned into a human for some reason. And, here is like this little fairy that you have to fight, and then, once you defeat her, then now she will help you on your quest, and, she can shoot, right? So right now you just have a hammer. And then when you defeat her, then she joins your quest, and then now you have a projectile attack as well. So yeah, it's straight through and through Metroidvania, and but also it's like the bullet hell. Like, check this out. Well, it gets more and more. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. It's just really beautiful hypnotic bullet patterns, and you have to dodge it all without getting hit. Hopefully. Look at that. This is so cool. So again, like I don't think there's any male characters in this game at all, as far as I can tell. It's just all goofy girls. But yeah, you get a map and everything, so it is like a full-blown Metroidvania game, just with cutesy characters.
Plastic. Hey, hey, hey.
Well, as I mentioned in my the first update, with the January to March update for the year, that I did the translations for this, right? So this is the Strutzwagen, right? I did an unboxing of this model, and I'm just gonna show you, all right, since it's already out. It's not like I'll be stepping on anybody's toes by showing this, but what I get is stuff like this, right? So this is what he dated it December 17th. And this is just a rough draft, I guess. So this part here, this is already... I did not do the English translation for this. Alright, but the painting and all that, everything's in Japanese. This stuff I had already... they just basically just cookie cutter, right? This is just standard. I don't know if I had originally translated any of that, but here we go. So it's just got a paper clip all together. And you see where it has XXXXX. These are the parts where I translated. And I get the Japanese. I ask for it in plain text as like a text file. That way I can look up kanji, because there's a lot of really complex kanji that I really don't understand. So what I do, I mean, some of this stuff is just like really easy. Alright, so parts 39 and 34 glue together. Oh, I'm sorry, do not glue together. And it says here to use the lever, right? Grab it with a pin set, the tweezers, to confirm the movement here, right? So what I do is I dump it into Google Translate, and since it is an AI, you got to be careful though, right? You don't just you know, just copy and paste it and there you go. Now what I do is I put it in there to confirm that I got the proper grammar, and then I go word by word, translating word by word, and making sure everything matches up and it's supposed to, you know, that it makes sense first of all, and that the words have not been mistranslated, because when you use an AI tool, I guess Google Translate basically it is kind of AI. You have to guide it and make sure it's not providing some sort of goofy ass translation. So I wouldn't say quite often, but I mean most of the time it's pretty straightforward. But I still have to make sure and that it makes sense, and then I will use more common used words, I guess, to make it, you know, a little bit easier to read. Because like when you do a word for word translation, it's not always, it's not very smooth. It can be very precise, but it doesn't really, you know, it might sound a little bit awkward in native English. So that is part of my job. So yeah, this is like this is actually the text here, right, and that I translate. So yeah, this is it's fun. I think I'm going to be doing another translation job. Yeah, he said, oh gosh, next month in July, which means probably the way it usually goes, it'll probably be like, you know, September or October at this point. But I don't know what the next translation job is going to be. But this is really fun though, especially because I'm not really into tanks, but this is a really awesome looking tank, and I wanted to get like a, you know, sample product, and he gave me one, so that was really great. So yeah, that's just kind of a look into what I do on occasion for Hobby Japan. Look at this. Okay, so I built the Rei and Asuka sofubi set by Tsukuda already, right? I finished that I don't know, I think it was last year, I can't remember. And that was their plug suits. But this is another set with them in their bathing suits. So Asuka is wearing a nice two-piece, and Rei is wearing a one-piece. Isn't that great? All right. So, and this still has the original shrink wrap on it. Holy crap! Let's see what's inside. Oh yeah. It's got the registration card for Tsukuda Hobby, which no longer exists, and the instructions. And oh look, there's how to draw the eyes. Isn't that nice? All right, so first off, oh hey, wow! I don't think this is supposed to come with the kit. I think this guy probably just. Oh wow. Well, I'm going to keep these and use these for something else. Yeah, I don't think the kit's supposed to come with that. Okay. So, first things first. What I do like about this kit so far is that it is all uniform colors. Doesn't try to have any sort of like different colors or whatever. The other kit did that and I was not impressed. So here we have two sealed bags. So the legs are separate, right? We got the, so this is obviously Asuka, right? This is her hair. Oh, that's nice. So it's gonna have like some like hair parts. Oh, here we go. Here's one. The ponytails, the twin tails will just fit right in there. I like that. She's got a nice smiley face. I like that. And here are her bangs. Ew, cool. She's wearing sunglasses. Oh my gosh. Doodle-a-dude. Alright, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Maybe do this as either like a silver or maybe like gloss black. I like that. She's wearing sunglasses. I didn't notice that. But yeah, you can see that in the picture, of course. Alright, now here is Rei. Her one piece. Okay. So leg separations, arm separations, fantastic. Unless there's like some sort of glaring fit issues, this should be a good fit. Alright, so the arms and the legs are, well, except for the hands on Asuka. She has one hand that will need to be, although actually there's a wristwatch. So that's nice. And paint the wristwatch and then attach to her arm. I like that. I like that. So as for Rei, she's not wearing a watch, and it's just all one solid piece. And she's looking stoic as always. She never smiles. Here's the back of her hair. And here's the front of her hair. This is fantastic. Unopened bags, totally unopened. That's fantastic. Very happy about this. This auction started at 1 yen. It finished at like, I think I got this for 4,000 yen. Somebody else was bidding up, but then they gave up. So like I was willing to pay up to like maybe 4,500 or so. Ooh, yeah, and so the same seller also had, and I'm like, oh, it was the other Devil Hunter Yoko sofubi by Falchion, where she is like in a crouching position. The one I have that I built many years ago is that she's standing up, right? She's standing on one arm, or one leg, and with one arm behind her head. And this is the crouched position with the same Chinese dress. And I'm like, I really wanted that, but I got outbid. I did not try to bid. I think it ended at like 6,500 yen or 6,800 yen. I did not try to outbid. I had bid up to like maybe 4,500 yen or something like that. I was outbid and I let it go because of what I'm about to show you next, which I really lucked out on, I think, in my opinion. Something you don't come across very often. Here is a Priss in plainclothes kit from Kaiyodo. Alright, so got some discoloring from a tape, got some, you know, dirt on the cover here, but sculpted by Kuniaki Teraoka. Don't know who that is. This is 1/10 scale Priss in plainclothes, just like you see here, right? And oh, delicious. Alright, so one thing you'll notice is work has already been done. So we have you know what? I've seen this Nene figure. I think I actually... It's been a long time ago. There was a guy who I was talking to a long time ago who I had found some Silent Mobius garage kits. And he bought a couple of them from me. And I believe I had this Nene kit and I sold it to him. And but yeah, so I don't know why, but they just have one sheet for both kits, but you don't get two different kits. This kit is for Priss, as it says on the box, so do not be confused here. Alright, so I think he was selling it as junk, but it's only not really junk. It's just said it was junk. I don't know why, because this just because he's already pinned it, and I don't mind that really. Although he kind of did a shitty job. Crap. You know, it's okay. I guess I don't mind. How is this? Yeah, maybe it's not so bad actually. No, yeah, never mind. I think he's got it okay. I might make the hole a little bit bigger and then just use some epoxy putty or the polyester putty. Let's see how this fits. Okay, yeah, maybe not such a good idea. Not such a good job, maybe. How does this? Oh wait, no, that's the. Oh, here it is. Alright, well, it's just kind of, her arm's just kind of hanging on this, on the, you know what, I can just totally just redo the whole, I'm not too concerned about that. So what do we got here? Well, it is her sidearm. She's packing heat, guys. And it looks like there's a little bit of flash here on the edge here. I'll have to cut that off. But yeah, she's got a pistol. And that'll just attach like so. Oh, wait. Yeah, she's wearing this, looks like it's supposed to go under her arm, kinda. Okay. Shazbot. I'll cut that crap off later. Well, it's supposed to go like that, right? It's just under her boob here. Somehow, like that. And then she's got her other foot. Alright. Now this is not bad at all. Not bad. Oh yeah, I can use some polyester putty to fill that in a little bit more. Not bad at all. Of course, though, this is like the old style of kit where you're just gonna have to do a whole lot of masking. She's like, "Hi, I'm Priss." Otherwise, it's a good sculpt. I'll have to sand this down, right? But she's got that little forelock there that's kind of sticking out. That's nice. Very cool. So yeah, I got this for 5,000 yen. And if the guy had bid, like, maybe it was just like giddy, how do you say that in English? It was just like how do I say that in English? I'm losing my English. It's like right there, like at 5,000 is, or 5,100 yen, I think, is what I had bid on. He could have gone like 100 yen, and then he would have gotten it, because I had just, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to go any further than that, but just barely to the precipice right there, and I won. The other guy gave up. So I've got Priss, and she's 1/10 scale. Isn't that nice? Yay. How cool is this? Brand new. As of the beginning of June. Zillion. Right? This is Apple from the Akai... What's that? Oh, shoot. Colson Zillion. Red Photon Zillion. I think that's Colson. I can't remember. Anyhow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so, you mean the Sega Master System game? Yes, that's right. So it was an anime in Japan, and it was pretty cool. And I have it on Blu-ray. And the box set is rather fantastic. In fact, let me go get it right now. I'll show you. So here it is. And I love the fake weathering on this, with like the little fake stickers and stuff on there. It looks just like something you'd find at Suncoast Motion Picture Company in the bargain section or something. I love this, right? It's a really fun show. And there was a follow-up show, and this is, you know, Sega was involved with this anime, and Sonic Soldier Borgman, right? That's where the character Anise Farm comes from, and I have some sofubi kits of her. So Hasegawa has made this 12th scale resin figure kit of Apple, right? And this looks really cool. And it has a nice cool stand too, actually. I'm really surprised about that. I can't remember any other of these resin garage kits that they've come out with that came with a stand. But the way her leg is posed, I'm glad. Alright, come on. Decals are in here. Plenty of eye decals. She's looking straight on to the left and to the right. And oh, look at this. Nice Zillion. Oh, what is this? Like some patches or something? Where did those go? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, on that little sensor thing. So it was like a laser tag game, and that was like the sensor you'd have to shoot at your friends, I guess. I never had laser tag. I wanted it when I was a kid. But anyhow, yeah, I think it was called Photon in America, if I remember right. Alright, so her hair, I asked my wife, and she says it's blue. Like a dark blue. Let's see what her hair color is going to be. B color is 74 with 328. What is 74? Air Superiority Blue. Oh, I like that color. That's a nice color. And then 328. What's that? Blue. 328. Well, now, do I even have that? I do wonder. It's just got a whole bunch of crap in the way. My paints. I really need to figure out a better way of doing this, I think. Okay, so 328 would be... Oh, here we go. And then Air Superiority Blue is this color here. So it's a mixture of these two colors here. Okay. It'd be cool to do this like as an undercoat, and then this is like an overcoat maybe. Instead of mixing them, just do like a double colors or something. Alright, so as with other resin kits, it has this nice heart-shaped bubble wrap. That's nice. That's nice. And then it's taped here. And here she is. Oh, look, there's the little photon wire. That's neat. That is necessary. Alright, so here we go. So yeah, she's always got her cleavage on display. That's her trademark. So nice ass here. Oh, that pistol, that laser pistol is so cool looking. Look at that. Man, this is cool. Alright, I'll have to do some, cleanup on her bangs and stuff. But golly, this is really cool detail. So you've got the, let me see where the corresponding leg is. Alright, so you've got like these two locator pegs, right? And then you got this whole hole here. Drill the hole in there and then, support it. That's where you're going to put your aluminum rod in there. The same thing for, yeah, they have everything very well marked. And as with other Hasegawa resin kits, I think this is going to come together rather nicely. I'm not going to unopen it. I'm not going to open it at the moment, but yeah, this will be really cool. So, gosh, but I've got the Dirty Pair, the two Dirty Pair girls, and I've got Leda, the Fantastic Adventure of Yoko. I want to start on that one too. So it's like, gosh, what am I gonna do? Decisions, right? Of course, also, I got that Bubblegum Crisis Priss figure as well. So yeah, I've just got a whole lot of resin garage kits to work on here. So, but I am happy. I'm not complaining about that. In the meanwhile, I am liquidating some other stuff that I no longer need. So what is number 306? It's a gray color, and then what is her uniform? Oh, okay. It's the Air Superiority Blue 74 with white. So well, I would say just paint it as is, really. I mean, why not? It's looking a little bit dried out. I'll have to put some of this stuff here, the replenishing fluid in there, make it come alive. It's getting kind of dried out. Supplies! This is a carving knife, but the word knife is maybe not accurate. Anyhow, this is like an engraving tool. It says here for plastic. Of course, it's for plastic models, but also garage kits and figure models and so on. Right. So now check this out. It's got some sandpaper here, I guess, for keeping this nice and sharp. This is very pokey. All right, you gotta be very careful with this. And check this out. It's not gonna break, right? Like those other little things I got. Those diamond files. Those are a little bit fragile, but so far this is not. I mean, this is pretty solid all the way through. So yeah, I kind of like this actually. It's finer tipped than some of the other similar things that I have. I'm going to try to not lose this. Alright, because that would not be good. But yeah, this is for sharpening the tool here. Alright. UV gel clear. Yes. So figure for like a figure no hitomi no koto. So basically it's for, you know, what I do actually is I paint some glass acrylic or something on the eyes. But let me see if I got something here. Alright, it's got this receipt here. So yeah, for clear parts and such, filling in holes and whatever, original clear parts for making, right? You can use it for water, right? That's what you see here. This is for molds and such, and you see if you want to make a little cup of water or something like that, right? And of course it says here there's a UV light sold separately. Now it's hard, you know, can't really figure out what this is gonna look like until you open it up. Oh, but here we go. UV gel clear. I guess this might pretty much be the same thing as that Mr. Yeah. If you're gonna put this on eyes, you should probably use a toothpick or something. You know what? This is just basically just UV resin, really. Let's shine this on here. Okay. Yeah, it's hard. You can maybe hear that on the camera. That is nice and solid, actually. I like that. And oh, I kind of lost some of its luster there when I touched it with my finger. Maybe it hadn't fully hardened up or something, just the surface. I think you can just kind of polish that up, though. Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, that's pretty solid. I can't really indent it very well with my finger. Yeah, I guess I kind of have. Maybe it depends on how long you shine the light on it. Now here's the paper that this comes with here. You know, it says you put it into like a little metal plate. Alright, like something like this. And then you can pop it off. Of course, it's got to stick to that paper like I used just now, so that's not a good example. But you can see it's applied with a stick or something rather. And then shine the light on the eyes and give it some sparkle. That's pretty cool looking. And of course, this is just whatever. Fill it up with whatever mold you got here. Cookie mold. Yeah, here we go. Use it as the navigation lights on the wing of an airplane. Very cool. You can even make little spills or just fill up a cup with that. So yeah, neat stuff. Okay, so is it any different than Mr. UV Clear Putty? Actually, probably not. In fact, I probably didn't even need to buy this. I bought it out of curiosity to just kind of compare these two items. And apparently it's pretty much the same thing. Just competitors. I thought maybe it could be different, but in the end, I kind of don't think so. So this one has a nice, it's much thinner tip though, so that is nice. There. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, I imagine. I picked this up at Lobby 1, Yamada Denki Lobby 1. This is by Gaia Notes. This is clear for metallic. So this is a clear coat for your metallic. Now I've never had this experience personally myself, but some people have put like a clear coat over silver metallic paint, and it just turns it into like a dull gray or something, and it loses its shine. I've never had that happen to me, but some people have had that, and it's really terrible. So I picked this up, and I guess this might be kind of close to this gauzy. I got this like from when I went to go visit Australia several years ago. AK Interactive makes this stuff. Yeah, I got this. I thought it might be kind of interesting to get that. Now, in those interesting videos on YouTube, the Garage Kit builders, I see them using this stuff. So, this is a flexible file holder set by Wave. And if you're getting into like, you know, like a woman has like flowing hair that kind of shaped like this, and you need to get in and file down the excess resin and such, that's where something like this comes into use. Now, file holder, look at this, look at this. Okay, so let's cut these off the runners here. And you get two sizes. Get this smaller size and a larger size. Right? So I've looked at these videos and I'm like, wow, I gotta figure out what these things are. Well, and I happen to have a catalog of Wave products. I keep it in the restroom. So I'm doing my business there. I've got stuff to look at, and so that's what this is here. So you get several different types of. I was expecting thinner strips. Maybe you have to cut these to size on your own, but this is a fine. What? $338. What? So this is 600? I don't know what this is. This is more like 400 or something. I got 600, 800, 1,000. This is probably 12,000 or something like that, or 2,000. I don't know. What does it say here? You want to cut it down to like 5 millimeters. So, okay, what you do is you put this into the little holder here. Oh, okay. It fits into there, and then you wrap it around the other thing and then stick it in there. And then when you got the strip here, like you can file inside there and such, and then get both sides and go like this, right? That is really, really cool. Yeah. Resin kits especially, this is going to be very useful for. So I kind of don't want to discard this. I think I might leave the parts in this bag, because otherwise I might lose them. But this is a really cool thing. Wave makes this. Neat.
Do you think President Trump is a fascist?
Yes.
Why is President Trump a fascist?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, what is fascism?
I'm also not sure, but I know that man isn't worth the time.
Do you think President Trump is a fascist?
Yes.
How is President Trump a fascist?
But there was one voice note that stood out. And before Richard Tice, wherever you are, just pin back your logos. This was Rob.
Morning, Jez. On my way to work, as normal. Listening to you talk about the thing that happened in Belfast last night, all the unrest. Well, yes, rightly, you shouldn't condone what happened. What else have people got to do? They're not listening. The political class are not listening. These people who are coming over here illegally, they're rapists, terrorists. They're coming over here. It's literally like putting a wolf in a sheep field. You are giving them a target-rich environment. You haven't vetted them. You've done nothing. All you've done is dump them in a place where they can wreak havoc. Where they come from, guess what? There's no law. If they can do literally whatever they like. They come over here, there's lawyers, of course, taxpayer funded. They get a nice cushy home, running water, Sky TV, gym memberships, bus passes. They can literally go where they want and create havoc. And when they do, the people that foisted them upon us, guess what? They say, don't get upset. Don't do anything. Don't go out and cause unrest. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Stop reaping, then you might not have to sow it, because this country is absolutely on the edge. They cannot take much more of people getting stabbed, raped, blown up, you name it. You foisted it upon us for the last 25, 30 years, ever since Blair said, I'm going to rub your noses in it. Well, guess what? What goes round comes round. And I think the political class have got a very, very, very big smack on the nose coming.
Should SNAP dollars be spent on sodas?
The purpose of the SNAPS program is to provide families to have food and beverages.
Should it be spent on sugary sodas?
I am happy to talk about hunger and nutrition, but not dictate what Americans should or should not eat or may have access to.
I'm asking if tax dollars should be used to pay for sodas.
Taxpayers' money should be utilized to ensure that individuals have access to the food that they need to survive or may be accessible to them.
Do they need sugary sodas to survive?
Some of them do, who do have low blood issues, who may
Is that
have
right?
COVID, or who have kidney issues.
You think
Yes,
they need
there's-
Coca-Cola to survive? Do you think that's the most appropriate use of our tax dollars?
I am not a physician, but medical records and expertise
You were
do show
just
that in
citing
some
the
circumstances
health
they do.
needs, apparently, of the American people. So do the American people need Coca-Cola to survive?
I did not say that. I said that.
I'm asking you. I'm giving you the opportunity to say yes or no.
I will not answer for individuals and their choices.
You think that there are some Americans who need Coca-Cola to survive? Is that your testimony?
I am happy to talk about the food and nutrition
You just don't
needs
know.
that individuals have.
You just don't know. I think most people can rationally say that you don't need Coca-Cola to survive. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree that we have a hunger crisis and that we need to address it, but ensuring that individuals have the food resources that they need.
Got it. And one of those is sugary Coca-Cola. What does SNAP stand for?
It's a supplemental nutrition assistance program.
What's nutritional about Coca-Cola?
I am not a nutritionist. I am a food security expert in ensuring that individuals have the food resources that they need.
This is a common sense question. All of these have been common sense questions. I'm just asking you, is there nutritional value to sugary sodas? It's a yes or no question.
I am not an expert. I would have to look at the dietary guidelines.
You're not an
and look at
expert. I don't think that there's nutritional value to sugary sodas. I think most people in this room would agree with that assessment. But you have no opinion?
I'm here to talk about the food needs and the hunger crisis that individuals here in America are
Are you that ideologically dug in that you want our tax dollars paying for sugary sodas, that you will not, in a straightforward way, admit that sugary sodas are not healthful for the American people?
I think that focusing on soda when people are going hungry.
We spend a lot of our tax dollars are spent on soda. That's why I'm asking about it.
We have
And you appear to be so ideologically dug in that you won't answer a simple question that that's not an appropriate use of our tax dollars and that does not, in fact, make the American people more healthy.
I won't answer because there's no data sort of proving that.
Do you need data to determine whether drinking soda is healthy?
I think
I'm sorry, it's a serious question. Is there some Do you believe that perhaps drinking sodas every day is healthy?
The worst health outcome is hunger. When the individuals don't have the resources.
Do you satiate hunger with Coca-Cola?
I did not say that.
But you said that the worst health outcome is hunger, and I'm asking you about sugary sodas.
And I'm focusing on the nutrition needs and making sure that children have the resources.
Is your organization funded by soft drink makers?
I am not in charge of development, but no.
It's not, okay. Is your organization funded by organizations that make money from food stamps? Do organizations who profit off of food stamps fund your organization or businesses?
I mean, I can't comment to that. Happy to talk about the resources that needed.
Does General Mills fund your organization?
I don't have access to that information.
I do, it's right here. They do fund your organization. Do they profit off of food stamps?
Retailers are the major beneficiaries.
Do you think that that's a conflict of interest?
That's where EBT dollars are utilized.
Yes, and they're profiting off of your advocacy. Do you think that that's a conflict of interest? I think most people think that's a conflict of interest. I know you don't want to answer. My time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Gale.
This hearing is about the crimes committed by the Central Intelligence Agency against the American citizens and the decades of secrecy used to conceal them. The American people deserve a complete and truthful record. The victims and their families deserve acknowledgement, and this Congress has a constitutional obligation to ensure that full declassification is not delayed any longer. Project MKUltra was not a policy failure or an overzealous program that got out of hand. It was a deliberate, systematic governmental operation that subjected American citizens, prisoners, hospital patients, veterans, ordinary people to LSD, electroshock, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological torture without their knowledge or consent. This went on for 20 years on American soil, funded by American taxpayer dollars and authorized by the very top of U.S. intelligence apparatus. And this program, when it did end, the men who ran it did not cooperate with investigators. They did not come forward. They committed another crime. They destroyed evidence. The documents this task force has reviewed are unambiguous. In January 1973, the director of the CIA, Richard Helms, prepared to leave office. He personally ordered the destruction of MKUltra records. The CIA official document in writing states, over my stated objectives, the MKUltra files were destroyed by the order of DCI Mr. Helms shortly before his departure from office. A separate internal account confirms that Helms telephoned Dr. Gottlieb directly and instructed him to destroy, quote, all files pertaining to drug research and associated activities. Gottlieb compiled 4 people, spent an entire day tearing, burning down 152 files. Then Gottlieb had his personal papers destroyed by his secretary before he retired. The head of the CIA-owned records center protested the destruction in writing, but he was overruled. That is obstruction of justice. That is criminal destruction of federal records, and neither individuals were ever charged with a crime for it. Helms received a $2,000 fine for lying to Congress about an unrelated matter and collected his government pension until he died. Gottlieb retired in rural Virginia and wrote poetry. No one went to prison. No victim was ever formally compensated by the government for the harm that they caused. By 1975, the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission had already established through sworn testimony and the surviving 1963 Inspector General report that MKUltra existed and that the CIA had run a program of human experimentation on unwitting Americans. The scope and detail of what we know today is largely because of an accident. In 1977, an archivist diligently complying with a FOIA request discovered 7 boxes of MKUltra financial records that had been misfiled and escaped the bonfire. Those 7 boxes included the names of institutions, the name of subprojects, the researchers who participated, the specific operation that the CIA had funded, and without them, the vast majority of MKUltra would only be a rumor, just as Helms and Gottlieb intended. Those 7 boxes revealed that MKUltra comprised at least 149 subprojects, operated across more than 80 institutions, and involved 185 non-government researchers. They revealed that the CIA covertly contributed $375,000 to a hospital research wing, which was approved directly by DCI Alan Dulles, which Richard Helms concurrence, so the agency could use unwitting patients as experimental subjects in what their own documents called a hospital safe house. The CIA's Inspector General said in 1963 his classified report concluded that the program had exceeded the agency's legal chapter, and covert testing on unwitting subjects placed the rights and interests of U.S. citizens in jeopardy. The program ran for a decade that we know of, and they ignored their own watchdog. Let me be clear what I believe that we are dealing with here. Administering drugs to people without their knowledge or consent, subjecting humans to psychological torture, and using prisoners and hospital patients as non-consenting research subjects. These are crimes against humanity. The Central Intelligence Agency committed them, and then the director of the CIA was ordering the destruction of evidence. Today we will hear from two witnesses who have spent years unraveling the cover-up that our government ordered. Stephen Kinzer documented the life and crimes of Sidney Gottlieb in his book, Prisoner of Chief, and Tom O'Neill spent over 20 years investigating what the CIA buried and what they obscured that, in my mind, constitute some of the worst notorious crimes against humanity in the 20th century. Their persistence in the research in this hearing is possible simply because they are patriots. The American people deserve the complete record. The victims and their families deserve acknowledgement, accountability, and justice. And this Congress has a constitutional obligation to make sure that the CIA never does this again. With that, I'm going to be opening up first questions, and I'll hold my questions to the end to Representative Burleson. But before I do pass it, I did want to just note, a few weeks ago, we did receive reports. There's some back and forth regarding the CIA and ODNI pertaining to new MK Ultra boxes that were discovered. Myself and Representative Burleson did go down to Langley. We did meet with the CIA, and the CIA is currently in the process of declassifying newly found documentation, although the documents, and I feel comfortable enough to share it here, pertain specifically to a forgery program that was being housed under MK Ultra. So as soon as those files are released, we will be putting out notification with your help to also comb through some of the newly released documents, but I did want to give you a quick.
So have you noticed how after USAID had been completely gutted and all of the tons of American tax money being funneled overseas to all these NGOs, that after that happened, then one by one, all of these South American countries are having elections in which populist politicians are winning and taking over countries, and as a result, the crime goes down and the worth of the countries go up. Right, so it's really fantastic, right? Just recently in Colombia, there was a big, huge right-wing victory, and everything is always far right, far right, far right. The media always, everything is far right to them, and it's really ridiculous. They just always use that word to phrase anything. And meanwhile, these countries are reclaiming their prosperity and such. Interesting how this happens, right? Since Doge has cut out so much of the excess, now all of these countries are regaining their sovereignty and lifting the oppressive heel of left-wing totalitarianism. Now, of course, we're going to see what will happen next in Venezuela. But I'm pretty confident that good things are going to happen to those people, and they're hopefully going to have some honest elections as a result. And as I mentioned in a previous update earlier this year, right, with the military action in Venezuela and then again in Iran, the pattern I see is it's leading towards Obama, right? So I believe I mentioned in the previous update that, Trump has said several times about, we need Iran to give back the uranium dust. And, well, giving back means to return it to the United States, right? Once that happens, they can use forensics to determine that this will link straight back to the Uranium-1 scandal, which goes straight back to Hillary Clinton and Obama. So all of this is pointing towards justice. And all of these doomers and naysayers who say, oh, nothing's happening, meanwhile, they'll say, oh, all of these countries, they want freedom. They must be doing the bidding of Israel. It's all Israel's fault, right? Only America can have individuality and freedom and prosperity. These countries that want that for themselves, oh, they're being manipulated by Israel somehow. I already talked about how completely ridiculous this is, and I only can assume that everybody who watched those videos knew that I was being completely sarcastic when I talked about that in such a way. But yeah, good things are happening. Very good things are happening. And like that last segment that I put in this video about Anna Paulina Luna talking about MK Ultra. Very interesting. So there was a really good Mel Gibson movie, and actually I went ahead and bought the DVD, starring Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts and Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart is the bad guy in this movie, right? I got this the Japanese DVD so that I can watch it with my wife. Very interesting movie. This goes into, he plays an MK Ultra victim, and they even specifically say MK Ultra, right? Or if you have seen the, Captain America Winter Soldier, that goes straight into MK Ultra as well. It is trauma-based mind control. And in this movie, second time I watched it, I picked up that you can see glimpses of cartoon characters and such, and that's how they use the triggers. So in this movie, Mel Gibson's character, he is a sleeper assassin. He doesn't even realize it, and he's trying to piece his life back together. What they do is they fracture people's personalities into multiple personalities, and so they have like grid patterns that get referenced, and this will unlock certain hidden personalities with certain objectives to be met, whether it's assassination or whatever. And it is trauma-based mind control, so they get them when they're young, especially. So trauma-based mind control, shoving masks on everybody's face during COVID, that's a form of trauma-based mind control, because you've got the this micro trauma of having this thing forced onto your face and such, and it's not natural, and it's always on your face, and it gives you if there's a better word for it, I'm using the word micro trauma. I just made that up myself, I guess, as far as I know. I don't know, maybe I got it from somewhere, beats me. But yeah, it's just like these little things that just kind of push you and push you and push you, right? Like getting some fat bearded man in a dress in a library. Hey kids, I'm a woman, right? The kids know it's not true. But when the parents are telling them, oh no, it's true, it's true. And to a lesser extent, Santa Claus at the shopping mall. And I knew that, as a kid, this isn't right, and I cried every single time. I did not want to sit on Santa's lap. And the kids, what that is that's actual, the spirit inside the kids telling them what's between right and wrong. And that man is not really Santa Claus, it's just some guy in a suit. But yet the parents are shoving their kids into these people's laps, and it's kind of this form of trauma. Even greatly more so, though, when it's pointing at a man and telling them, oh no, that's a woman, and the kids know it's not a woman, but yet the parents are traumatizing them that way. If you've read 1984, that's the trauma-based mind control in that as well. Or for example, You know, of course, that's that famous episode of Star Trek Next Generation, right? There are 4 lights.
There are 4 lights.
What was it? They kept trying to tell Captain Picard it was 3 lights or 5 lights. I can't remember, but he, to the very end, he said, no, there are 4 lights, and they tortured him, right? That's lifted straight out of 1984. Okay, so and now in this, you know, Bill Cooper book, Behold a Pale Horse, which is a really frightening book to read, but he wrote this book years before Columbine, and in this book he talks about using trauma-based mind control and drugs to, you know, using Prozac and such, antidepressants, to get kids or other people to shoot up schools and such. And right now we are seeing these transsexuals that are shooting up schools, right? To begin with, these people have deep mental issues, and I'm sure that most transsexuals they want to be left alone, I guess. They're not the type, they're like, it's ma'am, right? And all that crap, you like at that one creep at GameStop. I think quite a lot of that is probably they are agent provocateurs who are doing this on purpose. And then you get these idiots on Reddit to claim that, oh, there's a trans genocide, and it's like, where are you getting this crap? These people are like in a completely different sense of reality. It's insane. But yeah, he wrote the book before Columbine, right? And before Columbine, I had never heard of any sort of high school getting shot up. Now, in Phoenix, Arizona, like, there was a girl that I went to prom with, right? Her name was Angela. She went to Alhambra High School, and it was a kind of like a real bad area of Phoenix, and there were gunshots at her high school, and it was gang related. Never heard of anything about people walking into school and just shooting everybody. That never happened before Columbine, but this guy predicted that it would happen because he had the inside information on that kind of stuff. So yeah, SSRIs, I forget what they stand for, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors or whatever, antidepressants, right? It's been many years ago, but I talked about this book, Selling Sickness, talking specifically about these drugs. And if I can find what was it? Basically, it's junk science. And depression. Here we go, page 22. So the whole idea that, here we go. The idea that depression is caused by a deficiency of the brain chemical serotonin is in fact just one scientific view among many, and a simplistic and outdated one at that, right? It's really based on junk science, and research suggests doctors exposed to company reps are more likely to favor drugs over non-drug therapy. Now this is one of the exciting things about RFK Jr. and what he's doing, right? But yeah, psychiatry has been almost completely bought out by drug companies. You know, I went through and highlighted. I only got to like the first few pages, or the first few chapters on this. But yeah, this talks about ADHD, lots of different things. It doesn't talk about cancer though. But like, if you think about it, like the American Cancer Society, are they really dedicated to working themselves out of a job? They're like, okay, we need to really find the cure for cancer so that we'll be unemployed, and then we can just pat each other on the back and say, job well done, and then we can go look for other jobs. No, they've got a cash cow, and they're gonna just be raking in lots of money and spending it on all sorts of research, and it's not going to be researching stuff like ivermectin and artemisinin and such that has that's now being shown to be really effective against cancers and such. We are in like the birth of like a renaissance, and I think that is one of the positive things about the whole COVID thing, is that it's really opened up people's eyes to a whole lot of different things. And yeah, I think it's really exciting, but also, you know, bad things are happening. Like this book here, The Great Cholesterol Con. You know, so many of these medications are just geared towards maintaining status quo. You know, you just keep people as patients, and then you keep them as repeat customers, and it's wreaking havoc on people's bodies. And doctors are not focusing on alternative methods and such, because like it seems like a lot, like I don't know what the exact numbers are. I can't say for sure that it's most, but so many medical and scientific breakthroughs are done by people who are operating outside of the mainstream, the people who are not in the so-called system. They're the ones that are coming up with all these fantastic breakthroughs and such. So going back to what I had said in the beginning of this video, you know, I kind of want to wrap this up, I guess, now. But yeah, the whole thing about the Citizen Vigilante is that even though it's a crappy movie, it really speaks to people's frustration and their desire for justice, right? We have a sense of justice, and we know that we're not getting it in this world, right? So like Plato talked about these ideal forms, right? What we call the Platonic forms of truth, justice, beauty, love, stuff like that. You know, we know that as we are flawed humans, right? You know, as basically, you don't have to be a Christian to understand that. Yeah, nobody is perfect, right? We know that none of us are capable of like true love, you know, or that would only come from a higher source, right? So the Platonic forms, talking about, you know, we have this sense of this idea of perfect love, and we know that we are not capable of it, but yet we have this ideal, right? So we can, you know, if you want to call it God or whatever, we have these senses of truth and justice and such, and we know that we are not seeing it, but yet we know that we can appeal to this higher thing. And this is also one of the things that they're the reasons why communism hates Christianity so much, is that if people are appealing to the transcendent and not the government, then that is a big threat to the state, right? So, and of course this is one of the big alarming things about this whole rise of this stupid democratic socialist stuff, with especially what's going on in New York. It's just insane. I know one guy who is a subscriber to my channel, somebody I trade emails with from time to time. He escaped New York and he went down to Florida, and yeah, he got away from the crazy crap years before this Mom Donnie stuff came along. And it's sick, this Mom Donnie guy. To think that a Muslim was like embracing homosexuality and stuff, but then again, they don't care. You know, the ends justify the means. They will use whatever. Like for example, the Iranian Revolution. The Muslims, they latched onto communists, the young communists in the country, to help start their revolution. And then when they came to power, then they got rid of the commies. So yeah, all these Antifa people, they don't know what they've got coming to them if their plans come to fruition. They're just useful idiots, right? So, you know, I want to believe in the goodness of humanity, but every time, man, every time, Islam never ceases to amaze me at the depths of its depravity. It's very amusing, this whole thing about the men of Al-Zut. And if you watch Apostate Prophet and David Wood. They've been talking about this quite a lot on their channels. Basically, we're talking about, like, you know, the dark ages of Arabia, and they never had a real true renaissance because of Islam. You know, they've kept themselves in the dark. You know, I have a friend who lives in Saudi Arabia, and he says that people have to bite their lips because they can't say that the world is round, because the Quran says that the world is flat, and if they speak out against that, then they're speaking out against the Prophet Muhammad, and they can get in trouble for that, right? It's pretty bad. It is really, really bad. So this new thing that's going around is that they found in the hadiths that okay, again, I'm talking about like barbaric Arabian traditions of basically pederasty, right? Raping boys. The belief was that the semen of an adult man gives a young boy the power, and then that's what triggers his puberty and stuff, and he grows up to be a strong man and stuff. Really disgusting, but this kind of stuff was just widespread, right? All of the people who say that they hate God and all that, but yet, you know, they claim to be opposed to pedophilia. You know, that's the Christian ethos is what gives them that perspective, but yet they're in total denial of that reality. So Muhammad went out to the desert with his companion, and these men of Al-Zut, I mean, think of like these naked basketball player black guys, and supposedly they had like perpetually erect penises, and he goes out and he submits himself to 30 of these men, and they just take turns running a train on him all night. And then at the end of the night, because you know his companion, what he does, like he draws a line in the sand, and he tells the guy, do not cross the line or you will be in peril. And that line apparently protected the companion guy with from the men of Al-Zut. So by the end of the night, he comes crawling back and just puts his head in the lap of, you know, Muhammad puts his head in the lap of this guy. Disgusting, but yet, you know, this is what gave him the power to, you know, have sex with all of his wives and concubines and such every night, every single night. So, come on, it's like, it's such bullshit, right? Of course they say, oh well, that's an unreliable hadith. Well, it's all unreliable. The whole thing is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, the guy, assuming he is was a real person, he's a depraved psychopath, right? So Muslims are always saying, oh yeah, well, we believe in Jesus. Okay, so yes, they do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and they do not believe that he was crucified and rose again and all that sort of stuff. Okay, setting all of that aside, right, they do agree that, like, Jesus was, you know, he lived a perfect sinless life and he healed people and all that kind of stuff. So why is it that Muslims will ignore Jesus, but yet the psychopath, pedophile, narcissist who tortured, murdered, and raped people, they're going to call him like the perfect example of morality? I mean, like, you have got to be a complete retard if you're gonna make that choice. The guy, you know, he married a 6-year-old. He had sex with her when she was 9. He struck her so hard on her chest that you know, he beat her. And this is like all, I'm not making this up, this is all, you can read this in Islamic websites and such. The guy is a complete psychopath, right? He broke pretty much every single of the 10 Commandments, right? No idolatry. Well, what? He has you praying to a silver pussy in Saudi Arabia, or you could say it looks like a friggin' toilet or something, right? Do not steal. Well, he raided caravans, right? He stole money, right? Do not kill. Well, he killed lots of people, and he called for the death of people who had dared to criticize him. Do not commit adultery. Well, he did plenty of that. Not only did he have more and more wives, because he told everybody that you can have only 4 wives, but he was, he could have as many wives as he wanted to. Plus, he was able, to have sex with his slaves and stuff. He owned slaves, right? What else is there? Do not lust, right? Do not covet. Well, he coveted his daughter-in-law so badly that he caused his son, Ali, was it Ali? I forget, to, no, it wasn't him. I forget the guy's name. Caused him to get a divorce so that Muhammad could marry the girl instead. I can't think of any of the 10 Commandments that this guy actually kept. I don't know if he even honored his mother and father, because I guess they both died when he was a little kid, right? So it is just completely depraved. Like, you're going to choose this guy and call him the most perfect example for morality and such, and to like form your entire religion based on using him as the example to pattern your life after instead of Jesus. That's just completely insane. It's just totally disgusting. So what happens when you import these people into your country? Well, that's when you're getting, the reason why they slash at people's necks is because that's actually in the Quran. The Quran says to strike at the necks of the unbelievers and amputate their fingertips and such. That's actually in the Quran. So every time, like, for example, the beginning of that movie, Citizen Vigilante, the mother, she's with her son. She gets stabbed right in the neck and she dies, right? And of course it's because she doesn't have the stupid hijab or whatever covering on her. And so, yeah, that's what they do. It is disgusting. So, any of you people in the UK, maybe now you can realize the reason why America fought a war to be free, because look at what you got now. That depraved son of a bitch, that Jimmy Savile's friend is on the throne now, and the guy's I could go on, but probably a lot better man was the guy that the United States fought a war against 250 years ago, I think. Crazy stuff. So, yeah, just all I can do is pray for the UK, because I don't want to believe that it's too late for people to reclaim their country, or not even just the UK, but the entire continent of Europe, save for Poland and the Czech Republic and Serbia and some other places that have their heads screwed on tightly, and of course Russia as well. They don't have the problems that the rest of Europe does, that's for sure. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I just hope that there's going to be like a real true renaissance, and that these people can be totally deported, cast out from these countries before things get really, really bad. But I see the tide turning. I see populism on the rise. So I do think that things are getting better. So yeah, as of right now, it is July 3rd, and tomorrow is July 4th, Independence Day in the United States. So yeah, 250 years ago, right? I was born on the bicentennial of the 200th birthday, in that year. Because I was born in March of 76, but now that it's 2026, then that would mean that it is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and that is pretty exciting, even though I'd rather live in Japan than in the United States. But yeah, I just hope that there will be a beacon of liberty and hope that will shine to this world. And already we're seeing that in South America people are being liberated. So I would really hope that the UK, it gets liberated soon. That Rupert Lowe guy seems to be the real thing, because what was his name, Nigel Farage? He seemed to talk a good talk, and but then he betrayed UKIP, and now he's got this Reform Party, and he just seems to be just not even doing what he's supposed to be doing. He used to talk really strongly against Islam, and he seems to have kind of changed his tune. It's really sick and sad. So anyhow though, yeah, all cops are bastards. I agree with that in terms of the UK. These stupid, they're cosplaying as taxi cabs. They, with all the yellow and the black and white checkers and all that crap. I can't see any of them that are really worth anybody's respect. It's just insane. You know, going and talking to people. Oh, mate, we noticed you've been saying bad things on Facebook. All right, we're going to have to take you downtown. All right. Meanwhile, you know, Pakistanis are raping girls in half and all that kind of crap, and they don't seem to be really preoccupied about ending that. It is just insane. So yeah, I really hope that good things are going to happen in the UK, and I want more things to happen here in Japan too. So anyhow, I guess that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.